Okay, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one? Where you're constantly trying to keep all the plates spinning at once? Well, today, we're not just going to talk about the chaos. We are going to build a real, practical system to actually manage it. Does this look familiar? I mean, school, work, trying to be healthy, maybe even have a social life. It always feels like you're running out of time, right? Like you're just constantly one step behind. It is an absolutely exhausting way to live, and honestly, it's a feeling pretty much all of us share. But here's the thought. What if the problem isn't the clock at all? What if it's your strategy? This is the huge idea we're diving into today. Let's shift our focus away from a lack of time, which, let's be honest, we can't change, and onto our lack of a system, because that's something we have complete control over. So, we have to start with the foundation, and that is time. Because if you can't get a handle on your time, none of the other pieces, your studies, your health, your personal goals, none of it is ever going to fall into place. This is where we build our base. Let's just start with a hard number, 168. That's it. That's how many hours every single one of us gets every single week. When you look at it like that, it feels like a whole lot more than just 7 days, doesn't it? The time is there. We just need a new way to look at it. Now, let's really break that number down. Say you get a healthy 8 hours of sleep a night. That's 56 hours gone. And let's say your classes, a job, and your commute take up about another 50 hours. Okay, but look at what's left, 62 hours. That is a massive chunk of time that you can actually direct and manage. All right, here's your first tool for managing that time. It's called the 2-minute rule. And it is so simple, it's brilliant. Replying to that one quick email, putting your plate in the dishwasher, hanging up your coat. All these tiny little tasks build up into this huge cloud of mental clutter. Just get them done right now. And this brings us to the right way to plan. Look, don't schedule your day down to the minute. That is a recipe for disaster. Instead, create flexible blocks of time. Think morning study block, afternoon for errands and gym, evening to chill out. This gives you structure without that suffocating rigidity that just makes you want to give up. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, because this is where it all connects. You can have the best time management system in the entire world, but if you have zero energy, it's completely useless. Your physical and mental health, that is the engine that powers everything else you do. You know, this right here is such a critical mindset shift. Just forget about perfection. It's a total trap. Instead, aim for consistency. The 80-20 rule is perfect for this. The idea is, if you eat well 80% of the time, that other 20% is for living your life. You know, pizza with friends, birthday cake. It's realistic, which means it's sustainable. And that's the whole point. Now, the absolute foundation of your energy, it's sleep. And I mean it. It's not a luxury, it is non-negotiable. These tips are all simple, but they're so powerful, especially keeping a consistent schedule. And yes, I mean even on weekends. That one thing alone can stabilize your body's internal clock and make your sleep quality way, way better. I absolutely love this quote because it just reframes the entire conversation, right? We don't wait for our car to break down on the highway before we decide to change the oil. Your mind needs that same proactive care. And that means checking in with yourself daily, asking how you're really feeling, and fiercely protecting the time you need to just decompress. It's not being lazy, it's essential maintenance. Okay, so we've wrangled our time, we've fueled our energy. Now for the third and final pillar, actually applying all of it effectively. This is about making sure that all your hard work, especially when it comes to studying and learning, actually pays off. Seriously, this is one of the most powerful habits you can possibly build. Just 30 minutes. That's it. Every Sunday just to look at the week ahead. What's due? What big projects are coming up? You completely eliminate surprises, and you start the week feeling in control, not in a state of constant panic. It is a total game changer. So let's talk about studying smarter, not just longer. Over on the left, you've got what most of us do, passive reading. You know, highlighting, rereading our notes. It feels productive, but your brain actually retains very little. On the right, though, is active recall. It's definitely harder because it forces your brain to retrieve information from scratch. But that struggle is exactly how you build strong, lasting memories. And here is a fantastic way to put that active recall idea into practice. It's called the Feynman technique, and it's basically a simple test of whether you truly understand something. When you try to explain a complex idea in super simple terms, you immediately find all the holes in your knowledge. And those gaps, that's exactly where you need to focus your studying. And this, of course, connects directly to that Feynman technique. Teaching something forces you to organize your thoughts, to simplify complicated ideas, and to really, truly master the material. You don't just learn it for yourself. You learn it well enough to actually give that knowledge away to someone else. So we've covered time, energy, and focus. And I get it, that can feel like a lot to take in. But the goal here isn't to implement all of this by tomorrow morning. The goal is just to start. So let's focus on that first, single step. That's it, just one. Don't try to fix your sleep schedule, start a new study ritual, and meal prep for the week all on the same day. Just pick the one thing from everything we've talked about that you think will make the biggest difference in your life right now and focus only on that. And please, please remember this. Some days you are going to be perfectly on track, feeling amazing, and other days will be a complete and total mess. That's called being human. The goal is never to be perfect. The goal is to build a system that you can always come back to day after day. It's about progress, not perfection. Because ultimately, this is all about you. This is not some rigid set of rules you have to follow perfectly. Think of it as a collection of tools in a toolbox. Take what works for your life, for your personality, and for your goals. Experiment with them, adapt them, and build a system that is uniquely yours. So that leaves us with one last crucial question. Looking back at everything we've just covered, what's the one thing that really calls out to you? What is the very first brick that you're going to lay for your new system? The moment you decide on that, you've already started.